Hey guys, we are putting out our Earning Food pod from about 3 years ago. And this is perfect time for the Thanksgiving holiday. So listen up, we're going to go back in time and let's talk about earning food. And please don't earn your food through a turkey trot. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Between Two Pastries. This is Nicole.
Hey everyone, it's Annie.
So we're just going to kind of open it up today. We're going to have a conversation about earning food in general. You know, it's going to be holiday time. Annie and I have actually seen recently a couple of posts about people kind of posting like these obnoxious food items that they're going to, crush because they ran a particular amount or they had a killer workout or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that there is still this mentality that people need to earn what they eat.
Well, let's take it a step back though. Like, I remember when I first became a dietitian.
Yeah.
Like that was the thinking at the holidays. Do you remember that? Like, green bean casserole is 400 calories, so you need to walk this many steps. Like, I remember that stuff.
And there are, which we just did, but there are some apps that literally tell you, or even what's the one where it's like the food grade? I forgot what it's called. Fujicate.
Yeah,
Educate. Fujicate, something like that.
Yeah.
Where it says like, okay, this is a C- food.
Oh God!
Because
or
it's
red light, green light, yellow light,
X and Y and whatever. And then on the bottom it says, you have to walk 900,000 miles in order to burn this morsel of a Hershey Kiss, or whatever.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
But it's a terrible example. But yet it's true. And I feel like though people start to see that, and that's what they start equating to.
Yeah.
Like, if I want a slice of bread, I have to walk for 15 minutes. No, actually you don't.
No, and that's just it. Like making this very, very clear. You do not, by any means, in a first world country, nonetheless.
Correct. Let's make that clear.
Have to earn your food.
Or think so much about it.
Or work out because you ate whatever food. Like, here's the reality. Every single human being, and you are not special, needs to eat. Period. You need nutrients to sustain life and water, obviously. But let's talk about food. So you need to eat multiple times during the day, whatever that may look like. Every person needs a different amount of energy based on their metabolism. So everyone's daily intake might look very different.
Yes.
At the end of the day, no one earns food. And we hear this all the time. And I feel like social media is just flooded with it.
Oh, completely.
I mean, not only like the holiday earnings, you have this, eggnog, and so that now you need to, burn this many calories by doing this much swimming. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but also the fitness professionals even, or quote unquote nutrition coaches that are out there who fall into this whole diet industry crap. They promote like, well, instead of having eggnog, you can have soy milk with da-da-da-da-da, and like now all of a sudden it's this like huge bomb of preservatives, or it's just gross.
Instead of
has kale in it,
Instead of what you really want. You can have something that looks like what you want, but isn't actually what you want.
And now it's only 12 calories, and so now you can just sit or whatever, like that. But it's like, just if eggnog is something you enjoy, you have that.
Right.
People, if you just simply eat whatever you consider something you need to earn, if you eat that food regularly, you won't gain weight.
Yeah,
you will now allow yourself. You give yourself permission to eat it. Number one, and number two, your body's going to react better to it.
That's
if
the
we
whole
have a
thing.
little bit every day.
Right, a little bit every day, not the entire Cheesecake Factory cheesecake.
Federal cooler.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. But it's that all or nothing mentality.
Right.
It's I'll have clients be like, well, what's the point of just having a couple bites? Well, what's the point of eating the entire cake?
Right.
Like, what are we getting at here?
Right.
So what's the purpose of it? Is there that much more satisfaction eating the entire cake and feeling sick?
Mm-hmm.
versus eating a couple bites and getting your flavor texture fix and calling it a day.
Well, and here's the difference. When a
Or a
person
piece
is in
or whatever, you know what I'm
when
saying?
a person is in a state of eating an entire cake, they are totally, as you would put it, outside of themselves. They're totally out of their body.
completely.
They're not in tune with
Absolutely.
their body.
But
And-
also in a state of severe deprivation.
Oh, hugely. If your body it puts you in a position to consume an entire blank of anything, you're deprived of something.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people think though that like, well, if I eat a whole cake or I eat a whole bag of M&Ms, or that's just a sugar addiction then, right? Like that's a whole other topic. But like, you can deprive yourself of sugar and your body can be depleted of sugar. Like that is a thing. Like you need sugar to survive. Not to that extent, of course.
No.
But like
glucose in general.
Glucose, right? Exactly. So I don't know. Let's go back to our conversation though on needing to earn food, and why do you think people keep coming back to it being a food issue versus a
behavior
issue where behavior issues being
relationship issue, yeah.
black and white thinking, all or nothing thinking, fortune telling. Like, why do people just? Oh no, it's not all or nothing thinking. It's the food.
Right.
And it's not.
Right.
We are conditioned, whether it's from our parents, our teachers, professionals, doctors, social media, whatever, to be black or white thinkers or all or nothing thinkers or whatever it might. There's a variety of different types. Those are the two that I think we probably see the most of. All or nothing probably
That's right.
is the biggest one with food. But people don't want to believe that. It's like they just want to think like, nope, food's the problem and I got to earn it.
Right.
And now I got to go to the gym for 4 hours. And
Well, and that's the other piece. So the other thing is getting back to even intuitive eating. So if people are so focused, again, we're focused on the outside factor. We're focused on the entire cake versus whatever, versus the experience that we're trying to have between our mouth, our brain, and our stomach.
Right.
You know?
I do.
We're looking to dominate the cake and get rid of it.
And some people do that though, where it's
Right.
in the house, I'm going to eat it. I got to eat it all so it's gone.
Right.
That's another.
Right. So the thing is one thing where it's like, okay, I got this cake from a friend. It's I really don't want to be eating on it every day. Well, great. Then how about you take a piece out, you freeze another piece for who knows when, and you ditch the rest of the cake.
Right.
But then people will go, well, that's wasting food. Well, wait, hang on a minute.
Right.
Let's really, really think about, first of all, again, first world country.
Yep.
I'm not saying that, do you realize how much food waste is in this country, number one?
That's a whole,
But-
and you do a whole pot on that.
Right. Point being, though, is that, the cake has already been purchased. It's done. Like, there's nothing waste. You're not going to get money back if you eat the cake.
Correct.
The cake also doesn't have the nutrition that you need, like it would be in a meal.
Right.
So it's not like you're missing out.
Right.
And again, something else that's going to give back to you in a real way.
Correct.
So I feel like we need to kind of get away from this whole, like, I have to clean my plate because I can't waste it, or I have to eat it all, or I can't just throw it away.
Yep.
So
funny that you say that. Like, the first thing I'll work on, like, if immediately when I hear someone say like, I have to, I ate some of it and then I threw the rest away, the first thing is like, go buy another one. We're gonna start.
That's right.
We're gonna work on
You've
making
gotta
sure
keep it in the house.
You can like have this food item around you.
Yes.
And I've even done that with my patients where I'll tell them like, I have an invisible tray of 100 cupcakes.
Yeah.
And it's invisible.
Sure.
And they still get all squirmy thinking about, well, are you going to make me eat them?
Right.
Are you just going to like, I got to sit and look at them?
Right.
Why do we give food this much power when food is food? It's like our chair or a table or a pen. Like, it's just there.
Well, and so often we grow up in these environments where people either did not allow, their kids to have certain things. And so then
it's worse now.
Then it became like the child then trying to find the power of eating that thing, right? Seeking it out then
why is
behind
this
the
such a
back,
big deal?
or whatever. Or if it's something that in particular a parent tells you you cannot have, then it has so much value to it to the child.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? It becomes that. So sometimes there's that mentality.
Well,
in
then
it.
let's play devil's advocate though. Then so like because I'm totally on board with what you're saying, like as it relates to power. But then you've got the flip side. What if parents just let their kids eat candy all day?
Well, so here's the thing.
So what do you do as a parent?
Well, so I think, I'll give myself as an example. We had dessert in the house every single day.
Mm-hmm.
There was always something. But that was the thing. It was so normal.
Yes.
That there wasn't anything I didn't want to.
Yep.
This is just a personal experience. I'm not saying this is how it absolutely is. But because it was constantly around and it was sort of just part of what you did on a daily basis if you wanted it or whatever. I mean, it wasn't made a big deal.
Right. That's how it was.
That
for us.
was the thing.
That is how it is though. We had dessert around all the time. We had juice around.
Yeah.
Like juice boxes.
And my mom would.
Yep.
My mom still continues. In fact, my husband says, "Why is there candy everywhere?" And I'm like,
the dish.
But you know what's funny
Yep.
is I laugh because I don't even see it. Like I don't even see it.
Right.
I don't even realize it's there.
Yep.
It's like, why is there candy everywhere? I'm like, I don't know. I think my mom likes candy dishes and they look pretty.
And they look pretty,
but
perhaps.
does anybody actually eat it? I have no idea. You don't know.
I do. Right. It could be a year old, and I'm like, great.
But it's yeah. But that's the thing. It's like it's just such a normalized thing where it's not a big deal,
Right. And that's how we grew up with certain things as well. And I mean, I remember my mom making tofu one time, and all of us just kind of like, what is this? Like, we see your tricks,
weird texture,
And we had different foods every day or whatever. But yeah, what parents now or people deem as foods I have to quote unquote earn.
Sure.
Are the foods that I think we typically grew up with around just because they're around.
Yeah.
And what I see working with kids is, man, parents got to chill the F out.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
And this whole, like, we're going to have, homemade oats, and then we're having kales for lunch, and all this grains and fish and salmon and all this good stuff, and then they deny kids Oreos or chips or whatever, and the kid is then binging at a friend's house.
Absolutely.
Or their nighttime eat. They're hiding all their Halloween candy under their pillow, or their whatever is happening. And the kid is feeling worse and worse and worse about themselves, or they're developing allergies because mom and dad never let them eat,
X
food, and now we have a
problem.
problem. Hence why there's so many allergies nowadays.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. But it's just like we got to chill out with this. And again, we're all over the place, but like it's total fat phobia.
Yeah. Well, and it is, and it's also just the projections of diet culture.
Yeah. And feeling like my kid can't be fat.
Right.
Oh my God! All the other kids are normal weight. My kid, and but think about all the kids who are a foot taller or less or big feet. And I had a friend of the family whose kid is. It's like 8 or 9 and wears like a size 9. I mean, the kid his feet are huge, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like
I know.
It's just kids grow weird, and
but the thing is as adults and as kids, it's still a matter of just seeking balance. But again, if we're choosing to exercise in a particular way just so we think we can eat, that's an issue, and that's definitely
issue.
something to be looking at a little bit, because just being human beings who need energy, we have a right to eat, and we also have a right to eat certain things too.
Right.
I think it's a matter though of, because people will say stuff like, well, I can't have that in the house because I can't control it. And I'm like, okay, when we can't control it, we are not in our bodies, we are in our heads. And there's some message that's driving us so much versus just being in our body, having chips with a meal.
Whatever, yeah, right.
And feeling the satisfaction of being, comfortably full wherever that is for you personally.
Right.
And moving on.
Right.
But if we're going to eat the whole bag of chips or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. Yep.
If we're doing something like that, we're also not really tuning into our body.
No, and then we're entering the same cycle.
Yes.
I'm
because
getting
now it's guilt.
Yeah, now it's
and
guilt.
now that's going to fuel more.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's I want to challenge everyone who says like, well, I need, I got to earn X food, or I run because I'm, so I can eat X. I really want you to stop and take a minute and ask yourself why you feel that way. Like, why do you feel like food is such an enemy, and why are you so ashamed to eat X, or ashamed to not do the activity,
right?
Or what about you is making you feel like, basically, like that food has that level of power over what you're doing, and that you are, the servant to food? I don't understand how we've gotten that far, or that level of fear of weight gain. I mean, that's really what it ultimately comes down to, is people are so ungodly afraid of weight gain. And it's like, why? Why? The amount of worry that people put towards fatness is why they gain weight. It generally is not the food.
Yeah.
Or it is when it's a whole cake or a whole bag of, that's the issue. But this diet and that diet and this diet and that diet, and after spending time in Africa, like, people just eat what's available.
Well, right.
And like, they do just fine. And they're not underweight, and they're not overweight. They eat a ton of cornmeal, a ton of flour.
Sure.
Whatever vegetables and fruits are seasonal in that area or flown in, which would be rare, and goat and cow. That's it.
Right.
So I struggle so much with all of these different diets, and so much of this whole earning is because we're in a first world country.
I know. I think
we have so much availability.
Yeah. So, on that
note, yay, holidays.
I know. All right, guys. Signing out.
Have questions you want to hear discussed on the show? Find us on Facebook or visit between2pastries.com and drop us a line. Want to support the show? Find us on Patreon for exclusive content. If you love the show, find us on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review.